This is the story of my husband's great-great-great-grandmother, Frances Winthrop. Frances Winthrop was born in 1845 in Salford to Thomas and Sarah Winthrop. Her parents had moved from the rural village of Brampton in Cumbria in search of work. In 1850, when Frances was just 5 years old, tragedy struck. Her mother, Sarah, died at only 39 years old, her death recorded simply as decline. Within a year, Thomas remarried and young Frances was sent to live with her grandmother at the Black Bull Inn in Brampton. By the 1861 census, Frances, aged 16, was working as a domestic servant on a farm in Scarramanwick, Staffield. Sometime between 1861 and 1867, Frances travelled to London. At 7 York Grove, Camberwell, she gave birth to a son, George Winthorpe. DNA today suggests his father was George Pinnock Bull. Frances returned briefly to Brampton to have him baptised before placing him in the care of a lodging housekeeper, Mrs. Stirling of Sunderland Street, Newcastle. Frances is recorded in the 1871 census as living in Newcastle upon Tyne at 67 Clayton Street in what appeared to be a crowded lodging house with 9 people. Frances was again recorded as a domestic servant. We don't know if Frances kept in touch with her son or if she ever saw him again. By 1881, Frances had begun a new chapter in Kensington, London, living with Henry James Seeger, an engine smith and a widower, 20 years her senior. They never officially married, but together they had 3 daughters, Rhoda, Marion and Annie. In 1891, Frances and Henry were living at 31 Burgess Street, Tower Hamlets. Frances, now in her 40s, was recorded as a tailoress. 10 years later, in 1901, they were at the same address with their daughters, now teenagers. Henry, at 75, was retired. In 1909, Henry passed away. By 1911, Frances was living with her youngest daughter Annie at 71 Lucas Avenue, Upton Park, Essex. She remained there until her death in 1918, closing the chapter on a life shaped by hardship, resilience and reinvention. From Brampton to Salford, from Newcastle to London, Frances Winthrop's journey tells the story of countless Victorian women surviving tragedy, moving for work, raising children and carrying on, quietly shaping the world we live in today.